And the next week I came back, I went into clinic, and the doctor took out of his pocket a black marking pen, and he drew charts and graphs of my probable lifespans. Of course, none of them went beyond 3 or 5 years, but you know, when you think that you're looking at death here, 3 years is a gift.
Yes,
you know.
I can see that.
So anyway, but as soon as he did that, I just knew this is God. And so my commitment to have the transplant, regardless of age, was instant.
Now, it would be lovely to see you just moving along this most unwelcome journey in a grace bubble, but it didn't feel like that every minute. In fact, you say the night before the transplant felt like a funeral.
Oh, yeah.
Your family was there?
Yeah, my family was all around the bed. And we ended up, before they were leaving, you know, just wrapping our arms around one another. And suddenly things became very silent. And so I thought, I have to be strong. And so I asked if I could pray. And so, and everyone's not a Christian. Everyone is not a believer in Jesus. They haven't committed their life to Jesus. They know about him. But anyway, we all wrapped our arms around one another, and I prayed. And then we all repeated the Lord's Prayer together. But it did. It just seemed like a live
So you
funeral.
were the priest?
We all parted ways then. And they
setting.
all just quietly said, "I love you," as they left. It was just all that they could say.
What did you long for most in this journey, Anne? What was most meaningful in what we're going to discover is a very long journey? This leukemia was very determined to have you. We're going to have to fast track here. There was a recurrence.
2-year recovery.
2 years you were
I had a
good.
2-year recovery from the first transplant, and was doing wonderfully well, was back, was a top producer again, and living life to the fullest.
And singing your witness, I want to say.
Yes, singing my way along.
Trained at the Royal Conservatory of Music in Toronto.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, prior to all of this, I had a big voice. I could sing in front of 1,000 people without a microphone.
Wow.
And now I just make a joyful noise unto the Lord because it has really affected my lungs. But anyway.
2 good years, and then January 1992,
yeah,
a recurrence.
Yeah.
And then 1994,
a recurrence.
A recurrence. And then 1996, a recurrence. What?
I wasn't to live through any one of those. I mean, I was given 3 months.
Inch by inch.
Yeah, yeah.
You kept taking ground.
Yeah.
For 20
But the Lord was
years.
really real, though. In every one of those instances, it was like when I had this second bone marrow transplant, they had just moved the age then to 55. So, and they told me I would not be alive in 3 months. But you know, the Lord had just been feeding me with things I needed to know.
At one point you say you couldn't feel the bed under you,
no,
but you could feel his presence.
The presence of the Lord, yes, yes.
Lost your hair and fingernails and toenails.
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
Not an easy journey.
No, no.
And
the toenails are a long time coming back.
Look at you today. I mean, there's just such joy. In fact, that really seems to be your anchor.
Yeah. The joy of the Lord is my strength. That is my anchor.
What else? What else? For those who are looking at a journey like this, who've maybe just had a cancer diagnosis, what has been the most important in sustaining you in the dark place? Dark places.
Oh, just get into the Bible, you know, or your daily devotional, you know, and He will speak to me. It's like the day I made that first diagnosis. If I can just read it very quickly.
This is the very first diagnosis.
This was the very first
February
diagnosis,
3rd,
and I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And that night I went home and I read, "Faith is the heroic effort of your life. You fling yourself in reckless confidence in God." And I knew that I had done that. And then when I found out that they couldn't do the transplant because I had just turned to acute stage. This was the first one. It was, what do you see in your clouds? You know, that was that. And
This is Oswald
because
Chambers.
I had spent that night like crying, because I knew I maybe had 2 weeks at that point.
To live.
Yeah. And so it's clouds are those sorrows or sufferings or providences within or without our personal lives, which seem to dispute the rule of God. And then it goes on. If there were no clouds, we should have no faith. And the clouds are but dust of our Father's feet. The clouds are a sign that He is there. And then I'll just skip down to the end. Unless we can look the darkest, blackest fact full in the face without damaging God's character, we do not yet know Him. And you know, I just said, you know, I know the Lord. I don't have to be in this black mood. And you know, in my mind's, in my just visionary imagination, I sang, Allison's, the Lord is my light. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? You know, and it goes on, though man shall rise up against you. I put cancer, you know, shall rise up against me, yet shall not my heart fear. And I just sang that over and over for the rest of that night, and probably then slept a little bit. I thought I would stay awake until the end. I had so many things I wanted to think about and do, you know.
Now this Wonder Woman, we just have a couple of minutes left.
Okay.
2001. That leukemia took one more swipe at you.
One more bite.
And what was the resolve here? Something new.
Well, yeah, something new. I thought that my life was finished, and Ken and I had just gotten married.
Oh, we've got to show the picture. I couldn't figure out why we had Ann Walton and Watson. Thought, can this woman not figure out her name? You married a man with a name that just had to change a couple of letters. And I know this man. He's been one of our prayer partners too.
Right, right.
And he just met you, and within 15 months?
Yeah, we stood in alphabetical order, and my name was Watson, and his was Walton, his was Watson. So that was a good way to get to know one another. But anyway, to put it in his words, he said that since God had done such a wonderful healing in my life, he didn't see any reason why he couldn't marry me. And I didn't think anybody would ever want me, you know, because, you know, with my whole story of leukemia, the last thing in my mind was ever anything like that. But
and a wonderful piece of news is that the experimental
yes,
program that you engaged in is
this drug is
working?
Now a medication but it's
and
working.
It's available to others.
Yeah, and the longer it works for you, the longer it's likely to work for you. So they actually tell me now I'm least likely to ever die from leukemia.
Here's a woman who says leukemia has been God's very special gift to me.
That's right.
Well, you're the gift. And you're not
right.
afraid to tell us how old you are you, Ann?
Oh, no, I'm 71.
71 and sparkling. Yeah. And you know what
Wasn't supposed to live to my 50th birthday.
Quick look at your family here. You say it took a family to save you, really. But these are your children and
my daughter-in-law and one of my grandchildren. I have 3 other grandchildren, and Daryl's wife is not there because they live out west. So Daryl, the one in the middle, came to. Well, it was my 70th birthday party, but it was really a celebration of life, and we just had friends in and had a wonderful day, a whole afternoon of just celebrating and different people telling stories and just praising the Lord.
I guess, because you have turned a horrible diagnosis into a tremendous victory. And you know what blesses me? Here, you've just seen the faces of 2 of the kind of people that are waiting to pray with you in your hard place. Our wonderful prayer partners. They've all got their own stories. They do understand, and they are waiting to encourage you right now and to pray about what you're facing today. And God bless you.
Thank you.
Whoa.